So today we're going to be going over the carbon facial with the Eclipse Q. Now the carbon facial is really good for shrinking pores and slowing down oil production, and then just removing any dead skin cells. So overall enhancement of the skin, really good treatment, really comfortable treatment to have as well. It's a matter of applying the carbon paste onto the skin and then removing it with the laser. So quite a simple, easy treatment to go through, and we'll show you how to go through it on this video. So first thing we're going to do here is set up the machine. Heading on to standard mode, we're going to either press or swipe across to carbon facial. Going to come in here. Now our spot size is 7mm, so that is going to be the beam expander that looks like this, 7mm 1064, and our energy is 360 to 700. So we're going to start off on 360 and then bring that up a couple of levels from there. So most commonly you'll be somewhere around the 428 or 462. You don't want to go too high. Now everyone is different when it comes to the treatment parameters, but we want to go up in slow increments rather than big increases and having the client uncomfortable. So at most they should feel just like a flickering on the skin. It shouldn't be super painful. It's quite a relaxing treatment to have done. So our other setting here is the frequency, or the hertz, which is how fast it flashes. Now we'll start off on 3. If you've done a few treatments previously and you're quite comfortable with the placement of the handpiece, then you'll increase that up to 8. So that's all set up now. Now we're just going to apply the carbon paste. Alright, so with the carbon we're just applying a thin layer on the skin here. We don't want it too thick. Now if it's too thick, the laser will have a tough time of removing it. I just want it enough to soak into the pores and then remove it with the laser. Right, so now once you've got an even amount of carbon paste on, you're just going to position your vacuum above the treatment area and then just slowly remove it. 3, 2, 1. Just keeping slightly off the skin. And keep it at a right angle to the skin. So a couple of places to be cautious of. So around the eyes, obviously we don't go inside the eye orbital. So just coming up, placing a bit of pressure on the goggle. And then as you're moving through around the top of the brow, you just want to keep away from any hair, so away from the hairline, away from the brow line, and just using your cotton pads to cover that as we're moving through. Alright, so once you've removed all that carbon paste, if you've got any little dots that were a little bit thicker when you pasted it on, you can just remove those with the laser after you've gone over the whole area. And then once you're finished, just hanging the handpiece up, coming off ready and off standby. Now what we'll do is we'll cleanse any excess carbon paste off, and we'll just apply a aftercare hydrator. Now the setting we got to on this treatment was 496. Now what we recommend is when you do the first little pass, just increasing a few levels from there and asking the client how that feels in terms of comfortability. And the question we normally ask is a scale of 1 to 10, how does that feel? So if it's around a 3 or a 4, that's fine. And just increasing that energy a little bit. Now once that treatment's done and the client has left, you can then write down your settings that you used on that client, and you can potentially use a higher setting with the next treatment. Alright, so one last thing you'll need to do after your carbon facial treatment is cleaning and sanitizing the head. So this treatment tip here we clean with alcohol or isopropyl wipe. Now you can leave this on if you're going to be doing another treatment later on, or you can remove it. If you go to do a carbon treatment and you find that the energy is not that strong, take a look at the lens inside here. Now that does get a buildup of carbon on it, so if that's the case and it is quite dirty, then what we recommend is just getting the alcohol wipe and just giving that a clean inside, screwing that back on, then you're ready for your next treatment. So that's the carbon facial, nice easy treatment. Any questions, you can get us anytime on phone or email.